mighty than you can imagine. Relax Radio.
Welcome back to Relax Radio, Relaks. That's right, with me, Nick, keeping you guys company on the final stretch of the show. And, we were talking about all the things that is going on in the UK, and there's a lot of conversation, a lot of talk happening. And, one of this is, will the UK mining drive a greener revolution? That's, what's going on right now. That's the topic at hand. And, if you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is pretty simple. Hit me up on those numbers, 07852 473-473. That's right. And also don't forget, you can download the app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Carry us all day, every day. And also don't forget, we're pretty much big on social media. We go live on Facebook, on Instagram, pretty much on Twitter as well. So make sure you guys check us out on those pages. And also, don't forget, like I said, if you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is simple, call us up and check us out also on TikTok. We got some amazing videos right there for you. Yeah, we got the whole crew there, and we're going wild and crazy. You guys better check that out. But with that being said, getting to the topic at hand is the question, will the UK mining drive a greener revolution? Well, the rapid growth of all of these renewable energies, these electric vehicles, there's a lot of this growth right now happening. There is a lot. You can see a lot is happening, and there has been demand for the minerals that rely on this is only going to soar. It's going to increase in the coming of years. That's going to happen. That's something that you can actually look forward to. So by the time 2030 hits, the world could actually need as half as much tin again. And for lithium, the increase is a massive 500% according to 2050. So that's going to be happening, in 2050. That is what the expectations are. These are the goals that are set. And this is all according to the World Bank. So with battery production set to start in the UK, could the answer actually be in the rocks of Cornwall? We want to know, will we actually find more minerals in this? So bumping around in the back of a truck, looking at all these things and looking at deciding and all these things and looking at the way the minerals are being actually observed and being looked into. There has been a lot of these talks, with going on, and this is also something that is being headed about and, looked into as much as possible. So the tunnels, they say, we believe is Elizabethan. So it dates back to the 1500s. So this is what Richard Williams, the CEO of the Cornish Metals, said about this particular tunnel. And they were talking about this. And he says these next generation solar panels will use a compound called tin perovskite. So anything with an electric connection, a circuit board has a tin in it. And we're contributing to the UK's objective of meeting its supply of its carbon neutral target by 2050, and to have that domestic supply on your doorstep, it makes sense to see this mine put back into production. And the rocks of this region also hold a lot of mineral and great interest too. So this is something that the UK will be doing. So currently, lithium is actually being mined directly from the rocks in Australia or taken from salt lakes in South America. So this is one of the reasons, one of the benefits that we will actually be expecting to get in the next couple of years, when we form our bonds with Australia. And the Cornish Lithium thinks it could eventually supply about a third of the UK's future lithium needs. And Jeremy Rothall, the founder and CEO of the Cornish Lithium, said the UK's demand for lithium is going to be about 75,000 tons of lithium carbonate from 2035. So to put it into perspective, that's about a fifth of total global supply right now. So the UK is going to really need a lot of this stuff. So the World Bank estimates that globally the production of lithium will need to go to increase by at least 500% by 2050. So other products essential to the green economy, such as graphite and cobalt, will need a similar boost in supply. And they're saying, okay, this is something that, we can look forward to. And the way the demand is working, the way the increase is actually going on is something that we can actually be looking forward to. But he went on to say also, Professor Richard Harrington, the head of Earth Science at London's Natural History Museum, said the irony of the green revolution is that we, at least for the medium to short term, need a supply of new metals mined out of the ground. And they're saying, okay, this is what we need right now at this particular moment. This is how much we need, and this is what we are going to be requiring. And he also went on, he believes that urgent conversation is needed, and it is very much required to assess where and how these minerals are extracted. And he went on to say, ideally, we should work towards a circular economy where we just recycle the metals we use. But at this moment in time, we can't do that. It's just that the growth is too fast fast, it's too rapid, and to hit the target of net zero, we need these technologies now. So I think it's inevitable we will continue mining, but mining in the future will have to be different to minimize and to repair any environmental damage. And what we really need to do is to make sure that the mining can be done in a sustainable way, so that the legacy isn't a scarred landscape. It isn't something that is causing problems for the population and for the ecosystem. So a green revolution is pointless, is what Professor Harrington argues, unless the planet is protected in the process. And like I said, they are doing all these things, and they're trying to they're actually trying to set these nature goals right now, nature target goals. That these are, what they want to do is they're trying to make it binding, like how the climate change situation is going. And with all these things, happening in the government, like I said, the UK's government policies are actually failing to protect nature. They say, okay, all these things protect, protect climate change, global warming, all of that. But what about nature? So a committee of these MPs have actually talked about the UK's government approach to the nature, saying it is failing to stem huge losses of plants and species. So their report says that the UK has the lowest remaining levels of biodiversity across the world's richer nations. So they're saying, okay, we're a country that is one of the richest countries in the world, but our biodiversity is one of the least. Unfortunately, it is unfortunate. It is really pretty sad the way it is going, but that's just the truth of the matter. And they're calling for a legally binding target for nature, similar to the UK's climate laws. And across the globe, a massive decline in the numbers of plants and animal species is ongoing, with up to 1 million currently under threat of extinction. So they're saying, okay, these are the amount of animals and plants gonna be facing extinction, and this is something they are under the threat. And according to the Environmental Audit Committee, or the EAC, the UK reflects this international picture, with 15% of species under significant threat. So over the past decade, the UK has failed to meet a raft of international targets to preserve nature, says the MPs. And it's unfortunate. You have to look at all these plants, these places. We will be moving, hopefully, in the future. What we're trying to do is trying to make sure that we mine and we get more of the lithium from all these forests. But if you look at that, if we take the perspective of nature in hand, well, the government isn't doing really a great job. I mean, there has been even photos. You can see photos. If you go online, you can see photos of these plastic bottles inside trees. So that's very unfortunate, with how it is going. So although the UK is one of the richer countries in the G7, well, we are currently the lowest when it comes to the levels of biodiversity. So according to the report, existing policies and targets are simply inadequate and not joined up across government. So in recent months, the government has outlined a state of nature target to halt the decline in England by 2030. So right now, MPs say that legally binding interim targets are needed for the plan to work, and they should measure species distribution, their extinction risks, habitat condition, and extent. They're saying, okay, these are just a couple of the factors that we need to look into when we are talking about the plants and animals. How they're going to go extinct, how we should combat this, and how we should actually take this initiative into effect. So the committee also welcomed the government's pledge to protect 30% of the UK's lands and seas by 2030. And they said simply designating areas as protected is just not going to be enough. And it's fair. Like I said, right now the UK is steering the COP26, and with the climate change happening, and this is something that we can't really avoid, that the government right now will have to make an extra effort. I mean, yes, you can talk about big things, and you can give us a lot of talk, but no proper substance. Then that is the problem. We need a plan of action, and the government needs to take the matters right now, and they got to take it seriously. You can't just come up and say, okay, our plan is to come 2050, we're going to get net zero emissions, but then along the way we get a lot of these speed bumps, and they look for shortcuts, and that's not going to work. I mean, we have to make this, we have to put a real effort into this. We have to put our backs into this. So there are also a lot of these areas as well when it comes to these lands and seas and all of these parts in the UK. There are areas that are often very, very poorly managed. So this is what the MPs are observing. And they say, previous recommendations on how to improve them have not been taken up as of yet. So the MPs are calling for a ban on these peat products to be brought forward, along with removal of any of these subsidize that harm nature. And they're saying, because look, right now a lot of these peatlands and all of these, a lot of these forestries in the UK are actually getting affected. So they're saying we got to step it up as much as we can. We got to make sure that we protect this, and not just climate change. I mean, yes, climate change is very important. It is, the current crisis that we are facing. Apart from the pandemic, this is also something that in the long term is going to be a big problem. So we have to look forward to this. We have to make sure that, okay, we find strategies, we implement, a lot of these stratagems to help, reduce the possibility of the increase of the temperature. But to do that also, that's also important. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget that nature is also there, and we have to put a lot of these, interim, short term to a little bit medium term, a lot of these restrictions, and we have to make sure that these are actually taken seriously, because like I said, these have to be legally binding. That's only when we can actually we'll actually consider this, and we'll actually move forward with this, and we will actually take this to a serious. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully the government will make notice of this, and they will move forward and push forward with this. And this is just some things that we are expecting that the government will definitely look into as much as possible. And with that being said, it is about that time of the day for me to head on out of here. But don't worry, up next we got my girl Jamie, who will be keeping you guys company. So make sure you guys keep it locked right here on Relax Radio. And with that, you can catch me again next week, same time, same place, only here. And with that,